Bear Mountain is one of the most talked about communities in Greater Victoria. But before you decide to move here, there are a few things that you should know, because living on Bear Mountain is a lot different than living in a lot of the neighborhoods in Victoria. In this video, I'm going to drive you through the neighborhoods so you get a better understanding of what they're actually like. And if we haven't met, my name is Terry Karash. I'm from Remax Camosun. And on this channel, I take people through different neighborhoods in Greater Victoria so you get a better understanding of what they're like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a map first and explain exactly where we're going to drive to so you can see where Bear Mountain is in relation to Victoria and what neighborhoods we're going to drive through. So that'll give you a better understanding of what's going on in Bear Mountain. So before I take you on my little tour in my car to show you exactly where Bear Mountain is, I just want to give you a map view so you can relate to where I'm going to be driving you, okay? So here's the island. Here's the airport. This is where you come in from the ferry from Vancouver. Here's Victoria. Now, if you're going to go, and I'm going to use Victoria as my reference point, if you're going to go to from Victoria to Bear Mountain, you're looking at about 11 to 12 miles. And on a normal day, it's going to take you, I would say 25 minutes to 30 minutes to get from Victoria to Bear Mountain. But in reality, if you're working there and you have to go out in the morning, you're going to be looking more like, I'm going to say 45 minutes to an hour to get into Victoria, because the traffic along here in the morning with people coming from all these areas to get into town, it's pretty busy. So let's talk 45 minutes to an hour to get into downtown Victoria from Bear Mountain if you're working there in the morning, okay? So let's just show you where I'm going to take you this morning. So again, if you're living in, or if you're working rather in Victoria coming home, you'd be driving down this road, which is the #1 highway, and you're going to keep going down this road, and the very first place you're going to come to is called Millstream Road. This is the first way into Bear Mountain. The second way that you would get into Bear Mountain, you drive down the road here and you'd come to what's called Leigh Rd. Okay, so Leigh Rd and Millstream are the two ways in and out of Bear Mountain. So I'm going to drive down Millstream, keep taking you down Millstream till we come to the first roundabout. I'm going to take you down Bear Mountain Parkway, keep driving down here. Right about here is where the Bear Mountain sign is, the entry to Bear Mountain. I'll drive you down the Parkway here, and I'm going to drive you into Stone Gate, show you some of the homes along there, Bishop's Gate. Keep driving up the hill to give you an idea of the mountain and the drive. Going to drive you up here until we come to the first roundabout. We'll go past that. We're going to keep driving, and we're going to come to another roundabout, and I'll take you down Champions Way. I'll show you some of the houses along there and what they're priced at. Come back out, drive you along here to the next roundabout, which is called Country Club Way. Excuse me. We'll drive down there and I'll show you, this is where the Bear Mountain Golf Club is. Okay, this is where it is at the hotel. There's an activity center here. There's a restaurant and bar called Jack's Place. And down the road here is where the tennis occurs. There's an outdoor tennis court and indoor tennis courts in this location. We'll drive out of here, come back down. I'm going to drive you down Bear Mountain Parkway and just drive you into some of the residential areas. Pebble Drive here, beautiful homes. We'll drive you in there. Keep going down the hill here, and we'll come drive you down Riviera Place. Drive you a little further down the road, take you down Pinehurst, beautiful homes in there. And then we're going to drive a little farther down the road here, and then we're going to go around the lower part of Bear Mountain. And this is where the new construction is happening right now on the lower part of Bear Mountain. And I'll drive you down Flint Road. I'll take you down Obsidian and back down Flint just to show you this area. Totally different kinds of homes than you saw up in Bear Mountain in that planned community. Take you down Flint, down back to Bear Mountain, and we'll be back out at the bottom of Bear Mountain. So if you were living on this side of Bear Mountain, this is where you'd come out. You'd turn here and go down the highway back to work or into town on the weekend or whatever. This way here takes you out to Nanaimo and Duncan. But we're going to drive down Leigh Road down to Goldstream Avenue. And when we're driving down Goldstream Avenue, one of the things I'll point out is this is where the middle school is. This is where your kids are going to go to the middle school. We'll drive down a little further. And by the way, middle school is called Spencer. We'll drive down Goldstream. We'll come to City Hall along here. There's a brand new university that just got built right along this road. I'll point that out as well. Take you back down, down Goldstream Avenue. And then we're going to come back down to Veterans Memorial Parkway. Now, Veterans Memorial Parkway will take us back to where we started. Now, Veterans Memorial, excuse me, my voice, I got a bit of a cold. Veterans Memorial will turn back into Millstream. So that's where we're going to go, okay? So while we're at it here, I'll show you, by the way, when we're driving down here, you will see, where is it here? It says Lakewood Elementary. That's where your kids go to elementary school from Bear Mountain. Because on Bear Mountain, there are no schools. Your kids are bused from Bear Mountain to Lakewood Elementary or the middle school. And that's another story, but just to give you an idea. And as for the high school, while we're at it, the high school is right here. See, it says Belmont High School. I lost it now. Right there. That's Belmont High School. So if you shrink the map down, you get an idea. There's Bear Mountain up here. That's the high school right there in relation to where Leigh Road is, okay? So that gives you an idea of the three schools, okay? So again, that's where we're going to start, and we'll go back to the video now. We'll go back to the driving tour. So if you were coming from Victoria, heading over to Bear Mountain, the bridge I'm going over right now is the #1 highway. You'd be coming off to the right-hand side there, and then we'll be taking you down Millstream out to Bear Mountain. So as we get onto Millstream and off the highway, as I said, this is the one entrance to Bear Mountain. And just to give you an idea, off to my left, although you can't see it on the video, is where Costco is. And also up to our left here is a Home Depot. A lot of commercial outlets at this part of Millstream. And that's about 10 or 15 minutes up from Bear Mountain. This intersection right here at the lights is called Trainer, and down to the left about 2 or 3 blocks is where the elementary school is. As I said in that map video before we did the tour, there's 2 ways up to Bear Mountain, the Millstream route or the back way of Leigh Road. So right now, just to give you an idea, it's March the 9th, it's 3:30 p.m., it's Monday afternoon. See a nice day. It's a little cooler today than normal. It's only 7 degrees out. But anyway, it's a nice sunny day. No snow. We had a few flurries actually this morning. Now anyway, on the right-hand side, you'll see there's a commercial outlet happening there. All that land is going to be developed into commercial properties. So we're right at the base of Bear Mountain right now. We're coming up to the first roundabout. That'll take us on to Bear Mountain Parkway. Been raining off and on, so it's, pardon my windshield wipers. So again, we're at the base of Bear Mountain and we're on Bear Mountain Parkway. We're coming around the corner here is where there'll be a sign that'll say Bear Mountain. So all that shopping that we passed when you're on top of Bear Mountain, you're 15 minutes away from the shopping. So there's the Bear Mountain sign. Welcome to Bear Mountain. Now I'll take you up here and I'm going to drive you into a few streets, as I said on that map, just to give you an idea what the homes look like around here. This very first street I'm going to take you, this is one of the first parts that was developed when Bear Mountain was being built. They obviously started at the lower end and worked their way up. And I'll pull over in a second and I'll read what's sold on this street, so I'll give you an idea. This is called Stone Gate right here. So on Stone Gate right now there's one for sale here. It's on at $1,050,000. It's 2,689 square feet. Built in 2005, and then the last two sales on Stone Gate were at $1,080,000. That was 2,121 square feet, and one at $1,210,000, and that was a 2,900 square foot house, 2008. And to our immediate left here, I don't know if you can see it on the video. It's called Harrow Gate, and there were there are two for sale there right now. $1,099,000 and $1,299,000, and that's 2,122 square feet and 3,090 square feet. So that's what's on this street. So I'll just take you for a little drive along here. You can see the homes. Again, this is the first part of Bear Mountain when it was built. Get an idea. It's actually a nice little street. Again, being on the lower part of Bear Mountain, you don't have to drive up the hill, and you're closer to everything, right? It's actually a small little cul-de-sac. Only local traffic coming down here. It's a nice little spot to live, actually. And here's that other street I was telling you about, Harrow's Gate. Another nice little cul-de-sac. Now we're going to head back out to Bear Mountain. I'll take you down one other street here in a moment. So what you're going to find in Bear Mountain, most of the homes here were built in the mid-2000s and onward. You're going to find luxury single-family homes, golf course properties, townhomes, condos, and view homes overlooking the city and mountains. This is considered one of the premium areas in Langford, okay? So, and then the lifestyle up here, Bear Mountain, it offers a resort-style setting of golf courses, hiking and biking trails, tennis, and a quiet mountain atmosphere. It feels removed from the city, but it's close to everything. And if you want walkable coffee shops outside of your door like downtown Victoria, this isn't it. This is more private and peaceful. So we'll take a drive again down on Bear Mountain Parkway, and I'll show you Bishop's Gate. Again, it's one of the original streets. You can see the sidewalks. This goes all the way up the hill. Here's Bishop's Gate here. Again, another small little cul-de-sac off Bear Mountain Parkway. And I'll stop for a second and I'll see what's sold along here for you, so you get an idea of this street also. So just bear with me 1 second here. Bishop's Gate. The last sale actually was on this street was last August, and that was $1,160,000 for 3,700 square feet. So nothing's been for sale along here in a while. A lot of the people stay in these homes for quite a while because it's such a nice little spot. So now we're turning off of Bishop's Gate, back onto Bear Mountain Parkway. I'll give you a little idea of what it's like driving up the mountain, so you get an idea of the elevation, what you're driving up to. The sidewalk is all the way up the mountain. For people, they walk their dogs and just go for a general walk. So on this little tour, I'm going to kind of keep you on the right side of Bear Mountain on the different streets. There's obviously a number of different roads off to the left, but just for this tour, it just makes it easier. So you'll get an idea of the different neighborhoods. Starting to level out now. We're getting close to the main center of Bear Mountain here. The circle here, if we took a left, it would take us up to Nicholas and a bunch of other streets up there, with a whole number of different homes again. But we're going to keep it to the right here to keep things simple. I'm going to take you on one street coming up here right now after this next roundabout, called Champions Way, Champions Place. Give you an idea of some of the homes along there. This little overpass up here, this is for the golf carts to go from hole to hole. So just around the corner up there is where the main center is. But as I said, I'll take you over here to Champions Way. Give you an idea of this street. Just going to stop for a second, and I'll just read off the latest sheets today what's available on this street. Right now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties, 6 properties for sale on the street. 2.7 million, 1.7, 1.8, 1.849, 2.2, and 2.7. That's what's for sale right now. The last sale on the street was 1.8, and 2.895. That was the last couple of sales. So we'll take you down this street to give you an idea. These houses on the right, they back onto one of the golf course holes. That one you're looking at right there, that's the one that just sold for $2.895 million right there. Another great street. Very nice homes along here. So we're back on the main drag here. Bear Mountain Parkway again. This center core here is where a lot of the original condos have been built on Bear Mountain. Now there's some being built on the lower part of the of Bear Mountain. We'll be going by later on in the drive. So here is where the golf course is down here. This is called Country Club Way. Coming down this road here, you'll see just off to our right is the Westin Hotel. And that's where the golf club is down there, and the golf course is right down below there. And just looking straight ahead there, you'll see is an activity center. There's 3 workout areas in there and a pool. And then as we go a little farther down the road here, Fairway Hotel. And if you're into tennis, this is where you're going to come to play tennis. There's a indoor and an outdoor tennis facility. The outdoor one is closed for the summer, or for the winter rather. But the indoor one is, as you can see, it's a covered area. I didn't do my homework and figure out how many tennis courts are in there, but there's at least 6 or 7, and I know they have red clay as the ground. So there you go for the tennis courts. Now I will take you back through the center area, and we're going to drive off to one of the other residential areas again. That building again on the left is the activity center, and there's a big outdoor pool outside. You can see there some of the condos. And then just to our right here is Jack's Place. That's the local pub and restaurant for Bear Mountain right here. Everybody goes over there, has a drink or two. So you can see there some of the first original condos you can see right there, you see? To the right and left there. Okay, so now we will head down to some of the residential areas so you can get an idea of what they look like. We're heading down, again, we're driving down Bear Mountain, and we're going to go through some of the neighborhoods so you get an idea. One of the first neighborhoods I'm going to go or take you through is Pebble. Pebble is really, really nice. There's I believe there's only 2 houses for sale there right now. There hasn't been a sale there for a while, as most people, again, they stay pretty stationary along here. I'll just pull over for a moment and I'll read to you as to what is for sale right now on this street of Pebble. On Pebble right now, there's 2 for sale. One at $3.75 million. It's a 4,700 square foot house built in 2017. And one at $2.5999 million, a 3,400 square foot house built in 2018. That's all for sale on this street right now on Pebble. So you get an idea. Just drive you up and down. This little gated community that you see right here, that's there's a townhouse development down there. And obviously it's very, very nice, high-end townhomes. It's called Cypress Gate. So now we're going to drive down Pebble Place, get an idea of what the homes look like here. Beautiful up here with all the trees and the mountains. It's really, really nice. Totally different feeling being in Bear Mountain, the Bear Mountain community, than anywhere else in the city. As you can see, it's kind of got a resort feeling to it, which, well, it is a resort. And then we take us back out to Bear Mountain. Okay, so now we're leaving Pebble and we're going to go back down Bear Mountain Parkway. Like I say, you'll see all the trees, the forest. It's so different up here in the community than down at the lower part of Bear Mountain, which you'll see later on when we when I get to the base of Bear Mountain. This next street is called Riviera. There's nothing for sale again on that street either, but I'll give you an idea as to what's sold there. I just pulled the sales. I went back to last January of 2025 to today, just on all these streets that we're going to go down. So on this particular street, Riviera, there were two sales, and they were both last year. One at $2,500,000, 3,494 square feet, and one at $2.37 million, 3,665 square feet. And those sales were last March, a year ago, and last May. So again, nothing for sale, but it gives you an idea as to the pricing on this street. Small little cul-de-sac of high-end homes. Okay, so now we're going to leave Riviera. I'm going to drive you up the road here, and I believe our next street is Pinehurst. It's a little newer street. So here we are in Pinehurst. I'm just going to stop for a moment and just read you what is for sale and what has recently sold on this street. So on Pinehurst, right now as of today, there are three for sale. 3.999900, so may as well say $4 million, one at $2.399900, and one at $2,394,000. The last sale was on at $2,100,000. It was a 3,300 square foot house built in 2022, and then there was one at sold for $3,055,000, and that was a 5,000 square foot house, and that was back in October. So that's what's the latest on Pinehurst, okay? So I'll take you through a drive down here. You get to see these homes and see what this street looks like. So that house right here, just to give you an idea, this one here is what, 2061. So this one here we're looking at is $2,394,400. $2,394,000. It's 2,976 square feet, built in 2021 on a 6,868 square foot lot. So there you go. It's got an overcast. It's perfect for filming. I don't get any glare. There's Pinehurst Place to the right. I won't go down there. I think you got an idea. So we're back to Bear Mountain Parkway again. So as we go down the hill, down Bear Mountain Parkway, we're going down to the lower end now, and you're going to notice that the landscape will start to change. There'll be less trees because we're not on the mountain. Look at it's actually starting to a little bit of snow. A couple of brand new condos being built right now. It's funny, we've had great weather the last few weeks, and today we've actually had a few snow flurries. Wow, look at this, it's starting to come down. So here we go down, we're going down to the bottom of the mountain. And you're going to see that the landscape changes quite dramatically. So you're out of the community of Bear Mountain, and you're just coming on the base of the mountain right now, and you'll notice you see the houses. You're getting into more traditional style homes, but you don't have all that nice landscaping, etc. around you. I'll take you down this street here. We're now on Flint, so I'll take you down Flint, but I'm gonna first, just to give you an idea of some of the prices here, okay? So let's just take a turn here on, this is called Alabaster Court, okay? And you can see how different it is now that we're on a regular street, no fancy mountains and hills, but to give you an idea of the prices of these houses here on Alabaster, right now, you're looking at $1,450,000 for 3,000 square feet, $1,450,000 for 3,100 square feet, $1,325,000 for 2,600 square feet, $1,400,000 for 2,700 square feet, and $1,425,000 for 2,700 square feet. Plus, you have to add GST to those. So that's what this street is all about. So it's not cheap, but to give you an idea, like I say, totally different than up on top of the mountain. Sure, these will all be built by the end of the summer. Now we're back on Flint, and this street will connect us back to Bear Mountain, but as I drive down Flint, I want to give you again some idea of prices. Right now on Flint, There are 4 for sale: 1.449, 1.359, 1.450, and $1.6 million. Now those are all older houses. These don't have GST. The ones I referred to were built in 2021, 2022. The last couple sales in the street were $1,285,000 and $1,150,000. So that's what Flint is. Now Flint is it's a busier street because it's a main kind of a thoroughfare street for the little side streets along here. But anyway, that gives you an idea. This is Flint, and this will take us back out to Bear Mountain, and around the corner we'll be down at the bottom of the hill and right back at the highway. But you see, isn't it different than being up on top of the mountain in the community? Totally different. It's like a regular subdivision down here that you see in any city with a new subdivision. I'm gonna pull over and let this guy go behind me so I can drive slow. There you go, okay. So I hope you're getting an idea as to what the homes are like out here. Townhouses to the right. New condos being built across the way there. So now we're back at Bear Mountain Parkway. If you take this light here and you turn left, that'll take you down to Costco. And as we go over this bridge here, we're on the highway. And the people in that left lane will turn and go down left into Victoria. We're going to go straight down Leigh Rd. I'm going to take you down Gold Stream. Now, if you turn right here, it'll take you out to the highway, and it'll take you out to Duncan and Nanaimo to go right. So again, if you were working on Bear Mountain on this side, this is where you'd come down and see you'd hang a left there to the highway and go into Victoria. So as we're going down Leigh Rd here, we're just about coming up to the intersection of Gold Stream, and we're going to grab a left there. If I were to go straight on this road instead of turning left in Gold Stream, it'll take us down to West Hills. And just before West Hills, there's a large area where there's a soccer field, a football field, there's a rugby field. Up there, when the BC Lions come and play periodically in Victoria, that's where they play. So right now, we're on Gold Stream Avenue, and remember I was telling you about that middle school? This is where the middle school is. It's just down the road here. And as I said, your kids would have to bus it, or you're going to have to drive them there to come here. So I'll give you a little picture here. I'll pull over if I can somewhere. In fact, what I'll do, I will pull over here and just take a picture of the school for you so you can see what it's all about. All right. So just bear with me 1 second. So this here is the school. This is Spencer School right here. Just take a little pan for you. You can see there. There it is, in relation to Gold Stream. So we're going to continue our drive down Gold Street, and it'll take us out to Veterans Memorial Parkway. And I will say, I know on the map I had given you a route that I was taking, and as you can see, I did make a couple of detours. I apologize for that. And towards the end of the video, I ended up adding another street in the video. So if you watch it to the end, you'll see that I added Nicholas Drive and Spirit Ridge to the tour. They're towards the end of the video. So that's in addition, and so again, you get an idea of some more neighborhoods that we go across. Right now, if you look there to the right, you see that greenish building. That's City Hall, Langford City Hall. And this is kind of downtown Langford right here. We're in right now, the commercial area of downtown Langford. And coming up on the left there, you'll see in a moment that kind of blackish building to the left. That's the new university that just got built. And it just opened, I believe, this past fall. Brand new university. It's part of Camosun College. Of course, there has to be a bus in our view, right? Of course. Anyway, again, so we're in downtown Langford. There's grocery stores here, little mall, you know, just your standard shopping that you'd see in any normal city. Another roundabout, and then the next set of lights that we're going to come to is Veterans Memorial Parkway, and we're going to turn left on that, and we'll continue on the tour. And as I said, if you watch it to the end, I've added a couple of extra streets for you to go on that I didn't put on the map. And again, if you are ever considering moving to Victoria, I help people just like you every week who call me, email me, and I help them figure out the neighborhoods they want to live in. So feel free to text me, email me, phone me. My information is in the information below. So again, we're driving down Veterans Memorial Parkway, and we're almost at the bridge where I started, which will turn into Millstream. Yeah, it's interesting. From an hour ago, the traffic wasn't too bad, but now I can say it's 4:20, and the traffic is definitely starting to pick up. It starts around 3 o'clock, and just progresses from there. We already did this drive when we first started, but I want to show you so you get a feel of where the school is. if you were coming from Bear Mountain. So we're coming back up to Trainer, and Trainer is where we're going to turn. It'll take you down to where the school is. If you can't remember the name Trainer, just think about the Dairy Queen is on the corner. Everybody knows the Dairy Queen, so there it is. You're going to turn where the Dairy Queen is, and down that road is where the elementary school is. Okay, here we go. This area where the school is, this subdivision is called Florence Lake. Nice little subdivision. Now, when you're coming from Bear Mountain, if you were driving your child to school, this is one of a couple ways you can come. I took the long way off of Bear Mountain, but there is a road up here. When we come to the stop sign, you can turn right, and it'll connect right back into Bear Mountain, where the stop sign is here. This is called Setchfield Road. And to our immediate left is where the school is right now. And I will drive you through there so you can see where it is. So the school is right coming up here in a moment. So here you go, get an idea of the school, the elementary school. There's a huge play field. You see where those, right behind the building there, that big fence there, and those big blocks, huge field up there where the kids play. So that gives you an idea of the schools. I didn't drive by the high school. It's a ways away from here, but I just wanted to give you an idea. I'm going to take you on a little extra tour that I didn't show on the map. I thought you might want to see. We're driving back into Bear Mountain, into the center of town again. You can see all the apartments, or condos rather. And I'll just take you up Nicholas Drive so you can see some more homes up there and see what one of the other neighborhoods is like. We're coming back up here. This is where Champions Way was, where I had driven you down there. That's just off to the right. So I'll take you back down Bear Mountain again, this way here, just so you get a feel for it. Here's the roundabout, and we're going to turn right and we're going to go up Nicholas Drive. So coming up Nicholas Drive, I'm just going to stop. Nobody's behind me right now. And I'll just give you a little idea what's happening in Nicholas Drive. So what we got here, there's 2 for sale in Nicholas Drive at $2,050,000, $1,499,000. And the last couple sales have been here have been 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.5, 1.6, and 1.4. So that gives you an idea what this street is like, okay? So, again, Nicholas Drive. So we're going to climb a little more, as you can see. A lot of these sales, let me just see if I can stop for a second, give you an idea here. A lot of those sales I was telling you about built 2007, 2005, 2006, a couple 2014s, and a couple 2013. So it's kind of a mixture. So it's 2:30 in the afternoon, just to give you an idea. Quiet. See, look at all the rock wall on the right-hand side there. We're still on Nicholas. Hope this gives you a good idea. You can see what the homes are like. Now Nicholas is going to turn into Spirit Ridge in a moment here. Just going to pull over here. Oh, no, I guess he's not going to. Okay. Now, Spirit Ridge, just to give you an idea, that's what we're on right now. So there's 2 for sale on Spirit Ridge right now. $2.65 million, $2.6 million. And that 2.6 million is 6,200 square feet. And the one that's 2.6 million is 4,600 square feet. There's been the last couple of sales have been 1.9 and 1.8 on this street. So just give you an idea. So on Spirit Ridge, this will take us back to Bear Mountain Parkway, just so you can get an idea where we're at. I mean, it doesn't matter where you drive in Bear Mountain, they're all beautiful homes up here. This street on our right here, Bear's Paw, there was a sale last week, over $4 million on that street. It's a gated cul-de-sac. So we're heading back down the hill now, and it's going to connect to one of the other streets down there in the bottom, and then we'll be back on Bear Mountain Parkway again. So we're just coming down down Spirit Ridge rather. Nice street. Quails run up there. Okay, so now we are going to be going back to Bear Mountain Parkway again. We just turned on, this was Players Drive, by the way, that's what I turned on to. So now we're going to turn off of Players and go back down the mountain so you can see where we came up, just the reverse, just to give you an idea. Again, this is how you'd, if you were living in this side of Bear Mountain, this is where you'd be coming down to go to work in the morning. And just on your left is where I had taken you off to Bishop's Gate there on the left. And Stone Gate on the left over here. And then just around the corner up here is where the sign was, the Bear Mountain sign. So we're almost out of Bear Mountain. But again, I hope this gives you an idea as to what it's like up here. It's a very nice feeling. Love all these trees. Just to our immediate left is where that sign is, the Bear Mountain sign. Again, we're on Bear Mountain Parkway. Again, as I say, this is the way you're going to be going down if you're going to work in the morning. This is going to be your drive. This is that first roundabout we came to in that commercial property across the street there. So you can get an idea where we're at. And now we're back on Millstream Road. I'll drive you down to the bridge so you can see exactly where you're going to turn if you're going to work in the morning. So right now, again, it's 2:30 in the afternoon. We're coming up here, as you can see, there's a Dairy Queen at the corner. That's Trainer Avenue, and again, that's the right-hand turn takes you down the street and takes you to the elementary school. Just off to the left there is a little mall, grocery store in there, pet store, clothing stores, places to eat. On our right is Home Depot and Costco to the right at the next light. So what you'd be doing is that you'd be going in that far left lane to turn left, and that'll take you into to Victoria. Where all those cars are lined up there to the left, you see? That's where you're going to be in one of those two lanes, taking a left-hand turn down to Victoria.